Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on Anubhav Learning Series. It's been such a long time meeting all of you, and today's topic for Anubhav Learning Series video is SAP Fiori integrating with the camera functionality, which has been asked many of you many times. You have asked me, Anubhav, can you show us how can we integrate a camera functionality with SAP Fiori? And then we'll also talk about uploading files to an SAP system using SAP Fiori application. Many times in your project, you've been asked to do file upload functionality, wherein you have a Word document or PDF document, maybe an image document, and you want to upload that document to your SAP system. We will also talk about sending these documents, including image files and the taken pictures from the camera, to the SAP backend system. So with that, I would like to start today's session. Before that, an important update. We recently completed the batch on Access, HANA Access training. So if you are interested, many of you have also asked me, Anubhav, can you create videos and training on HANA Access and Access Advanced? I have recently completed that particular course on my website. You can go to onlinefiorytrainings.com and subscribe now to this HANA native HANA development course. In this particular course, we will go deep into the JavaScript technology. We will also talk about server-side JavaScript. You can find the details about my course on end-to-end application development on native HANA. So you can just come to the website and search for SAP HANA native application development course. In this course, we will talk about Access Classic and Access Advanced. Whenever you don't have any ABAP stack in the middle and you want to build complete Fiori application with the complete backend orchestration and logical functionality with SAP HANA as a database and as an application server, this course will definitely help you. Together with that, I also extended this course explaining you the Node.js programming language, which is the most popular JavaScript server-side programming language these days. So that's also part of this course. You can subscribe to this course from my website, onlinefiorytrainings.com. So let's not wait further time, and we will directly jump into the approach or the use case which we are planning to do. So as you already know, with the Anubhav Learning Series, we've been building a pizza application, and now my client come with a new requirement. So there's a new requirement for a Fiori application. Let's start with the requirement document quickly. What is the new requirement? Now my client, Best in Pizza, wants to develop product management application. In this product management application, they want to manage all the variety of pizzas, all the variety of products that they have in their portfolio. The purpose of this application is to display the price, display the product information like price of the product, including the product picture. So we want to display product picture. In case the product picture is not available, they want to use camera of their device. This device could be a desktop, could be a laptop, or could be your iPad. And they want to take a photo of that particular product. They want to take a photo of pizza or a taco or a ice cream. So they want to use the camera of the device and send the taken photo to SAP S4 system. Now it doesn't matter be it an S4 system or be it an ECC system. We will look at the backend design as well into the system by providing the necessary OData services. At the same time, they want to also an upload functionality where the picture is already taken. They just want to select the photo and upload to SAP system. Very fair requirement. Many times you might have seen this kind of requirements. So overall, if you look at the whole requirement, I will break it down into three parts. First, creating a worklist application for having all the product information displayed to the user. The second part of this requirement is to allow camera functionality to be integrated and take a picture and display that picture into the Fiori application with some label of the picture. And the third part of the functionality is the upload functionality, where they can take an upload of any document or a picture for that matter, and then sending it to the SAP system. Now, if you look at the flow, so you will always start with the Fiori application, which is going to be a worklist kind of application. I'm going to use worklist template in SAP Web IDE. And from here onwards, there are two paths which you will be taking. Either user would take a photo from their camera, or user will upload a photo. So we will be focusing uploading a photo. Now, here it doesn't matter really much what you are uploading. It's just the extension of the document which you upload. So however, by looking into this example, you will also be comfortable in uploading any kind of other documents as well. And once one of the path has been taken, the ultimate goal is to send this file which you have taken or captured to the SAP backend system, for which we're going to write a reusable method. I would say send photo to SAP. This is the function which I've been writing. At the end of the day, this photo will be sent to your SAP ECC system. It will get stored into the database table. Now, as you know, majority of my trainings and all the style of teaching, by far, we all do things without copy pasting the code. We will do these things step by step in the system, provided if the time permits, I'm going to show you everything in the one session. If not, then we will break it down into two different sessions, two different videos. Finally, we'll send this to the SAP system, where you have a database table which is going to store this picture as a X string. Clear? That will be our flow. Let's get started. So already we have an OData service. If you have not aware of what kind of application we had built in the past, I would strongly recommend you at this point of time to go to my website once again, onlinefiorytrainings.com. Please go and check all the videos in Anubhav Learning series. These videos are designed especially for my students who have taken UI5 and Fiori training with me to give them an edge to the next level. So you can go to Anubhav Learning series. However, those who are already comfortable with the UI5 Fiori concepts can also get started with that. So here we started first day creating a simple database design in an S4 system. We have then created an OData service with a deep entity set. We talked about $batch, and then we created a Fiori application consuming this OData service. I also talked about migrating your project from WebID to Eclipse and vice versa. And then finally, we integrated this app to the Fiori Launchpad with Fiori security concepts. Then I also talked about responsive grid layout, which many of you have requested. Anubhav, how can we rearrange our UI elements on the screen with the help, especially with the simple form controls? And then this video where we are actually creating a completely new Fiori application, reusing the OData service which we created the other day. So let's get started. The very first thing what I'm going to do, guys, is creating the basic application with the product data. So we already have our OData service in place. Let me connect to my S4 HANA system. So just go to my SAP GUI and just quickly connect to my S4 HANA system. And in my S4 HANA system, I already have my database tables designed and an OData service already on top of that. So just go and connect to my system and just provide my credentials. And then I will be quickly launching my OData service, which I've already created in the past learning series videos. Let me search my OData service. There you go. This is the one. Just launch it into the browser to show you the entity sets once again, which we have it inside the OData service. You would find that I have a product set entity set already present. And now we will be extending this along with the new database table, which is going to store our pictures. So let's go to the backend system first of all. And now I'm going to remember my OData project. So before that, I'm going to design quickly a database table in SAP system to be able to store these pictures. So let's create, following the naming convention, a new database table which is going to store my product pictures. So ZBIP is the naming convention which we are following for Best in Pizza as a company. And then I say product pics. That's my database table, product picture table. I'm creating a brand new table over here. And I say table to store product pictures. You of course have two options, whether you can upload the picture or you will be taking a picture and finally sending it. So ultimately the pictures are going to come and sit in this table. I just go ahead and create it as a client dependent table, which we usually do in SAP system. And then I'll talk about product ID. So right now my purpose is to store only one picture per product. Of course, you can adapt your DB design to store multiple pictures per product. That's your choice. Okay. Then accordingly, you have to have your DB design ready. Right now, my DB design is designed in such a way that I'm going to store one picture per product. That's why I'm just keeping the product ID as a primary key, which is going to be one unique primary key, same as the product ID. And then I'm going to store here different properties like content. Content is going to be of type string. Here is where I'm going to store my complete picture as a string. So just put it as a built-in data type. You can also put here the type of the image and the name of the image. So maybe file name and file type. These two properties are also I'm putting. So maybe I use is CAD 255 as a file name and file type also CAD 255 data element. Let's save this database table and activate. Provide quickly the technical setting information. And that's not something I'm going to explain in deep because we already assume that you're already an ABAP consultant and know about creating a table. So guys, in the system, your picture is actually, for a system, is a string. We system don't understand picture. What happens behind the scenes? We are going to encode this entire picture as a base 64 image. And that's the image which we are going to store into the database table as a string format. Later point of time, when you want to consume this back, we deconvert or we decode the base 64 string back to an image string and send it to the front end system. So you'll understand that how exactly it's happening. Why do we need base 64 encoding and decoding? Is because the image which is represented in form of a string can have special characters. These special characters cannot be sent over the OData, especially when you're using OData with dollar symbol and ampersand symbols. So while sending this to the backend system, you will have issues. And that's the reason we have to make sure that when we're sending the image back to the backend system, to the ABAP system, we encode the image into base 64. Okay, so we are going to encode the string to base 64. Okay, to avoid these special characters. And then once it is stored into the database, when you want to retrieve it, you again decode from base 64 to the image string, sending back to the front end system, sending back to the Fiori application. Okay guys, this is what will be our flow. So hopefully you'll see these things in the system live. You will understand it much better. Yes, okay. So that's gonna be my Fiori application. So here is going to be my Fiori application. Actually, this whole thing is a Fiori application. So this is the Fiori app. And then you're actually going to take these actions in the Fiori app and finally send it to the backend system. And when you're displaying it back, you've got to deconvert this base 64 to the string. Remember the flow? With the flow, we will be able to easily understand the whole concept. Let's create a new entity set now with this database table. Together with that, I'll also quickly go back to my ZBIP product table, guys, and just add a new property. You will understand the purpose of this property later point of time. So I just go to my products table and just add another property called content. So you see, I have enhanced it already before the session. I added a content property of type string to my product. Why we need this? Because we want to send back the image of every product with the product information. That's the reason we have added this property inside the product. Okay, the image is actually stored in another table. It's modularized because in future I would like to store more images per product. I can really make use of such a good DB design. If you store it in the same table, then probably you have to reload, or you have to re-replicate the record data again and again, which becomes a redundant DB design. That's the reason we are having a separate table to store the images, and that's what I recommend to all of you. Have a good DB design where you avoid redundancy of the data by normalizing the database tables, the basic concept of DB design. Okay, coming back, let's go to the OData service right away, and SEGW. Let's go ahead and search for my OData. Here it is. I'm just going to enhance my existing entity type for products. Right click, import. Of course, I have to go to change mode first, and now say import my another content property we just added. And at the same time, I'm going to create a new entity type, import from DD structure, and I'll just call it as product attachment. And let's put the data dictionary type as my database table, which I just created, ZBIP product pick. That's the beauty of putting naming convention. You can always remember your object name. Click on next and just choose everything except mandate. Say next, mark product ID as a primary key for this. Say next, and we are done. Let's activate this and regenerate the runtime artifacts. As I taught you in my training, the DPC and MPC classes will not be touched by this. Only the DPC extension and MPC extension classes where you write the code will not be touched. Only the DPC and MPC classes will be regenerated by system. So your code is isolated well into the extension classes. As a result of that, regeneration will not affect your code. At the same time, you will not touch SAP code. Let's go to the DPC extension class and now implement our code to be able to store the picture and read the picture, both the code from this database table. So I'm going to implement the create entity set method, and I'm going to implement the get method to get the pictures. So let's go to the class now. SE24, I'm just going to open my extension class ZCL underscore my class name BIP OData, ZBIP underscore OData DPC extension, and there you go for change. And I'm going to write down a create method for my newly added entity set, which is going to store the pictures into the system. So you can see product attachment, create entity. Let's go inside, implement this method, and what this method is simply going to do is going to get the picture. So let's get the picture, and we are going to store this picture in our newly created database table. Okay, so we are going to receive the picture, and then we're just going to store this picture into the system. So use this data provider object and say read entity data. And of course, as you all know, that this data type is going to be of same type what you're going to receive. So just create entity type my object here, this gentleman, MPCT is product attachment, and now just get that over here. And let me also create a structure for my database table, product pick, ZBIP pick. That's my DB table. And I'm just going to move the data from entity set to this. There you go. And just say modify my database table. From my LS product. That's it, guys. Why am I using modify? The advantage of using modify is later point of time, if somebody just upload a new picture, that should get updated. So modify works as an add or update. So if the record with the primary key already there, it updates the remaining non-key fields. If the record is not there, system is going to insert that. I'm going to put this code into a notepad file, guys, and I will share this notepad file as usual into the Google Drive folder with all of you. You can also replicate the same code in your system. Okay, those who are already taken subscription of my S4 HANA system from me, they can only anyways go and check the code into my S4 system which I have created. Let's save this, do a quick check. Oops, we do have a problem. And of course, that's a spelling mistake I've done here, ZBIP. Yes, and just do a check. Looks good. Activate. And cool, that's it. So that's the insert of the picture. So picture is going to come as a string to you. And that string you're simply going to store into the database table with the product ID as a primary key. Wow. What about the get? How we are going to display picture back to the Fiori UI? For that, we have to implement the get method. So we already have a get entity set for the product set. There you go. Here we have. Now what I'm going to do is, once I select the product data, I already have the product ID with me. And I'm now going to do a little bit of more advanced coding. Basically not that advanced coding. Basically, I'm just going to now fire a query on my product picture table and try to look if for a given product ID, do I have a picture stored in my picture table? If do have it, please read that picture and pump it together with the output content. So that's what exactly we're going to do. Loop at my ET entity set. And I'm going to use a field symbol and a new ABAP syntax. And guys, those who don't know new ABAP syntax, please subscribe my ABAP on HANA training. I'm already covering complete new ABAP syntax, new OpenSQL enhancements, and ABAP on HANA concepts in my ABAP on HANA training. That's a very useful training for any ABAPer. You must need to adapt yourself with the changing needs in the market today. So that's a new syntax for ABAP inline data declaration for field symbol. And now I can just simply search. I can look into the database table. Do I have a picture already for this product ID? You can say select, and I'll say single. Just check if the content is already there. Sorry, content from my ZBIP underscore product pick table, and into I can just put it directly with my escape character. Escaping of host variable, that's again a new ABAP syntax, guys. All of you, hope you're aware. Those who have taken my ABAP on HANA training, you're already aware of it. Those who have not, please subscribe to my ABAP on HANA training for that. So into my this from my table, where product ID is equals to, once again, scoping of host variables product ID. So just check if the product ID picture is already there. If it is there, if subbar C is 0, very good. So we have got the picture available. Once you're done, let's create an object of a utility class, because now the stored picture is in base 64. Remember, guys, I just told you that when you're sending picture from Fiori application or a document from Fiori application to the backend system, you make sure that you decode it to base 64 so that all the special characters doesn't hamper you much over the network call. And now it is stored in the base 64 format. When you're reading it back and sending to the UI, you got to decode it from base 64 to a normal string. So that's what exactly we are doing here. So let's go ahead and now use a ready-made utility class in SAP ABAP system, which is available. It's a ready-made class. I call it as LO utility. Type, it's CL HTTP utility class. Okay. And now I just come here and I can say LO utility. Of course, I have to create its object. You can also do like this. And now I just call a method of this utility class. Sorry guys, I mistyped ref2. Yeah, we can actually use new ABAP syntax also. Let me just try converting it to new ABAP syntax. That's it. New ABAP syntax. Okay, so now my utility object is ready. I can just use this object and I can use any of the methods. So the method here is decode base 64. So the image which I have got from the in form of content, this is the image which is stored in the DB. I just get it converted to a string. Let me store this string into a local variable. So just declare the local variable and just keep it here. And I'm just going to send this back to the ABAP system. That's it. But before that, I have to just add my indicator for the picture. So remember guys, when we're sending this from the front end to the back end, we will remove some content out of it. And when you're sending back, we will concatenate that content back to the image. So I'm just right now doing that. You will understand the usage of this later. So I just say data colon image slash JPEG and I say base 64. This is the content I'm adding, concatenating into my content. Final content becomes a decoded image, guys. So in the database is stored in encoded form, base 64 encoded form. I decode it, I append this string, and I then send this final content as an output. Remember, it's a field symbol, so it updates the data right away into the internal table without any modify statement. That's the power of field symbols in ABAP. You don't have to write a modify statement. However, you need to be careful because they're pointers, and at any given point of time, if you have not done it right assignment, you would lead to dumps. So be careful with that. Okay, good. Nice to see a syntax error here. Let's see what's the issue. It says, okay, once again, my typo. I'm bad in typos. BIP. Yes, that's it. Let's save this. Do a check. Activate it. We are done. Congratulations, guys. Your set and get method to the SAP system is done for the picture. Now we start with the Fiori application code. So this is about the backend part. Let me also take this method and update it over here so you guys can also update it accordingly. I will save this in my system and then I will share this file as well with you. You can replicate the code accordingly. But make sure that you have created the table with the same structure. Wow. Now, time to create a Fiori application. So let's get started with our Web IDE Personal Edition. I already have my Web IDE Personal Edition up and running over here. All our examples which we are creating by far is in Web IDE Personal Edition. Those who are very new to SAP Web IDE Personal Edition, you can find a YouTube video already on my YouTube channel how to set up SAP Web IDE for the first time, how to connect to SAP Web IDE to the backend system. So just search on YouTube SAP Web IDE Personal Edition installation and you'll find first video on YouTube is my video, Anubhav Baroy. Just go inside and learn how to set up SAP Web IDE from scratch in your system, local system, and connect to it. Okay, that's something you guys can also refer to. Now coming back, so just come back and I'll start a new project, guys. We have already created the destination file to my S4 HANA system into the destination folder of Web IDE. I've also taught all of this into my introductory video on Web IDE, how to create destination file, how to add the system configuration, and then make it ready to connect to your backend system. So we already have everything set up. We can right click new, and I'm this time going to create a project from template of type work list project. Okay, work list project. Typically this has initially the first screen as a table, and when you click on an item of a table, it displays you the detailed data for that particular item which you clicked on. Now I choose the work list type application, and let me just name this application as ZBIP, my namespace of the company, underscore products. Okay, that's the name of my project. And once again choose my S4 HANA server. Just provide my credentials. And there you go. You can just search for my OData service and just say next. Once again, it's for Fiori application, for Fiori Launchpad, and I say here title as my product management. Namespace is BIP. Description, manage business. And object collection, of course, your entity set is product set. And product ID is a key field. In the title, I want to put the product name, price, and the currency of the product. Very good. Click on finish. The basic worklist application is ready at front of you. I'm sure you guys already aware of basic concepts of SAP UI5 and Fiori. If you're not, please subscribe to my UI5 and Fiori training. In that training, in those 40 hours, I start with very basics. I start with HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery, and I take you to the advanced level of creating Fiori applications end to end. Understanding the all core concepts of Fiori like component.js, router, route match handler, manifest JSON, controllers, I18N, local services, mock data, mock server, unit testing, views, XML views, binding modes, binding types, JSON model, XML model, resource model, OData model, all the different concepts. This is a complete full-fledged 40 hours of training. You can subscribe from my website. You will get a depth understanding of end-to-end Fiori app creation without any prerequisite. Yes, you're right. Without any prerequisite. You don't need to know anything. If you're just college pass out, you can learn complete end-to-end Fiori application development with my course exclusively without any copy paste. Never learn from trainers who are teaching you copy paste, because those trainers are not teaching you, they are cheating you. They will get rid of their responsibility by copy pasting the code without explaining you the meaning of every line. And when you get into the production system, you start facing issues. There you go. So we are ready with our worklist application. Let's execute this and probably launch it into another tab over here. So let me launch our first preview of application. And remember, this is connecting to real backend system. You can see it's prompting me for the username password for my backend system, my S4 system. And you can see now the product names are available. Margarita, Spicy Delight, all your products with the product price. That's what we wanted. On the next screen, now here you can see a very simple object list, object header control displaying the product data. So now what is the requirement? Let's start. The first requirement is fulfilled, where we have a basic product display application ready. The next requirement, now I want to give an option to the user to be able to take a photo. So there will be a button. The moment you click on the button, let's say take photo. I want to give this button label as take photo. The moment we do that, a pop-up should appear. And in this pop-up, your mobile camera gets activated. Your camera will get activated, guys, of your device. You are running it on a mobile device, your mobile camera gets activated. You're running on a tablet, your tablet camera gets activated. Or if you're running on a desktop, your desktop camera gets activated. Okay, so this gets activated. Together with that, I want to also give a field below where user can enter description of the image. Okay, so there is a field which I want to give where user can enter some description, and here some photo will come. Your live camera feed will come. And now I will say two buttons. One is take photo, capture, and one is cancel. Cancel will just simply cancel the pop-up. Everything gets settled down back to its normal state. On capture button, I will capture the snapshot immediately. Whatever is the live feed coming in, we will capture the snapshot, and that snapshot we will update back to this main screen. So here I'm going to create an element, and in that element I'm going to update that photo back. That's the flow we want to design. Once again, I repeat, click on a button would open a pop-up with the live camera feed. Based on your device, it will automatically turn on the camera, and then the live feed will start here right away. And then I will write a description over here, and I can click on capture. The moment I say capture, whatever is the live feed, a snapshot of that live feed will be taken. The pop-up will get closed, and the picture will immediately be available on the same page here. Okay. If you say cancel, nothing happens, just it gets closed. Clear, everybody? That's the flow we have. Now, what are all the things you need to do that? You need one button here. This is one part. Second thing you need is a complete pop-up design. And this pop-up should have a video feed. So guys, we are going to use a basic video control, HTML control. So HTML5 provides you actually a video control which can enable, it's a video tag actually, HTML video tag, which will enable your camera automatically. So we're going to use a core HTML control. You will also learn how you can embed core HTML control with UI5 or Fiori. This is what I'm going to do. So the main idea behind working with camera is using a video tag, core HTML video tag, which is going to activate your camera of the device. Okay, that's what we will do. And once that is done, we're going to embed that over here. Together with that, an input field, SAP m.input field we're going to use here. So within the pop-up, this is the first part, 2.1, a video tag, which is a core HTML control. 2.2, we will have an input field. 2.3 and 2.4 are these buttons. Okay. And on click of capture button, we're going to instruct this video tag, please take a snapshot. So that coding also we have to do. We have to tell, please take current video feed as a snapshot. And this image, I'm going to post back to the main page. And on the main page, then you need control number 3, which is a custom control we will use, maybe a V-box, vertical box control, in which I'm going to feed this complete image. Remember guys, computer understand image also as a string. So everything what is happening between these controls and objects are actually a string getting transferred, which you have captured from this camera, and that string you are going to transfer to this control over here. In this now, I'm going to put an image control, which is just going to display this image or as a static image for the user. And then comes is the final button called upload or send to SAP. When you say send to SAP, we're going to call our OData service, which is going to store this data into the backend system. That's the complete flow of our first use case, where we take a photo, we capture the photo, we display the photo to the user, and finally once user satisfied, user can send this photo to the backend system. That's the complete flow, and these are all the controls which we would need to be able to complete this exercise. Let's get started into the system. The very first thing I would need on a detail screen of a picture, basically a button, and on click of the button I want to open a pop-up right away. Let's do that. So I'm going to come back to my web IDE, and I will just go to the controller for that view, first to the view itself. So I'm going to right click on object view, and I'm going to say open with layout editor. Now in my past videos I've showed you working with XML editor, but layout editor is also a very powerful tool SAP Web IDE offers us, which we can use to drag and drop the controls what we wish to add to the UI. So you don't have to go and write XML code yourself. Everything is pretty drag and drop, just like those who work with WebDin Pro, you all know that. So you can drag and drop the button control. So we just want to drag and drop the button control. Just can do that. So you can see here it has come. I just want to move it down, or maybe just delete it, and just want to create an button control below. So I think it's not adding. Yeah, it is added now. Let's give a ID to this button. So I can say ID capture. That's the ID of the button. And I just want to give a label to the button, capture, or I can say take photo. And then what I'm going to do is I'll just also add an action. So let's add a new action. Go to events and click on create new function, and I say take photo. Okay. And now just quickly switch to the code. You can also, don't forget to save your view. Just click on save button. It gets saved. And now I can just switch to my object controller. You can see the event handler method is already created over here. We can start coding in this event handler method. Take photo. So what we're going to do, let me move it a little up, guys, because that's when it looks better. There you go. Make sure that you don't do mistakes while moving things up. Yeah, very good. And now I can start coding. So let's note down quickly the steps. What we're going to do here, we're going to step 1, create a pop-up object as a global variable. Guys, I'm not going to go into nitties and gritties of UI5 and Fiori over here because I assume you're already expert on UI5 and Fiori. Especially my learning videos are very helpful for you when you already taken my UI5 and Fiori training module. If you already taken that, you already know these core concepts of global objects, base controller, component JS, router, scaffolding template, dependency management, XML views, getting the objects, playing with the objects, this.get view, SAP UI get core API, all these APIs, model concepts, binding concepts, everything I taught beautifully as like we teach to students, which teach to kids of the school. This is how I taught all these things in the main course. So I hope you have already taken my course, and assuming that you have the knowledge in UI5 and Fiori, I'm coding in over here. Step 1, create a global variable for the pop-up. Step 2, launch the pop-up. Now inside of that pop-up, you're going to have a video control, a core HTML video control, and that video control is actually going to display you a video stream, and that video stream will be helpful to be able to take the picture. Once the picture is been taken, we will send it back to the SAP system. We will also together with that create a couple of global variables which we would be needing later point of time. Okay, so we'll do that now in a minute. So let's start capture photo. First thing which we want to do is want to assign our global variable this to that, because in asynchronous function you can only access that pointer, you cannot access this pointer. A lot of asynchronous calls will be going in. This is also covered in my training in detail. And I'm going to also create quickly a couple of variables globally. So my first variable is image value. So, or maybe I'll create it on the fly whenever we need it. So I started with this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a fixed dialog, which is a global variable equals to new dialog control. Okay. Let's give a title to this dialog control. Click on capture to take photo, and just gonna launch this dialog control. Open. Clear, everybody? Let's go ahead and look at it. Now this dialog is going to be a dependency, and that's what I'm going to add on the top on my scaffolding SAP dialog. That's my scaffolding dependency. And just come down. Everything looks cool. Let's go ahead and execute this quickly. We're going to see now a new button on the UI. On click of that, a dialog pop-up will come. Yeah, let's do that. You can see take photo. I can say click, and you can see a small dialog pop-up comes up. Right now, no buttons, nothing inside. I close it. Let's come back. Let's add the content inside this dialog pop-up step by step. Now, I say I want to add a begin button. That's an aggregation. So begin button, I want to add a new M button. And let's give a text to the button. As we discussed, capture photo. That's a text to the button. And then afterwards, there's a press function. And I'm going to write an asynchronous function over here, an anonymous JavaScript function right away. When you click on this function, I'm going to create an HTML element. Okay. So I'm going to get an object of an HTML element from my DOM. So I say var, and I say x equals to document dot get element by ID, and I pass the element ID over here as player. Okay, we will talk about this element player in a minute. Right now, just understand I've got an object of an HTML element which is having an ID as player. And once that is done, I'm going to also get the source object over here. So a couple of objects I'm going to play with.
This conference will now be recorded.
Or maybe guys, what I'll do is I'll right now not use this anything here. rather than on click of capture button, I'm going to close the pop-up right now. Right now, I'm going to close the pop-up. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to close the pop-up because you will get confused if I start using these objects right away. So I just say that dot my global variable fixed dialog. Just close it right now. We're going to see the use of this capture photo. So basically in this to do, we have to get the object of our video player where live camera stream is running, and take the image object out of it and set it to main page using global variable. So that's what we will be doing later point of time. Okay guys, that's what we will be doing later point of time. Later point of time we will be doing. Okay, now coming back, so that's my first button which I've added, and now I'm going to add some more content inside my pop-up. So just add content aggregation. It's an array, and inside this array I'm going to add two things. So first thing which we're going to add is a video object. Video tag in HTML, it's a core HTML tag. So whenever you want to use core HTML content inside of a UI5 application, you have to use sap.ui.core library and HTML element, and in that you can put your HTML tag. So let me just do that. So say new SAP UI core HTML, and inside this now I can put my core HTML content, what I want to display the user. So that's my core HTML content, and I can right now put guys a hard-coded img tag, okay, with a width equals to, let's say, some width I'm going to put. So we're just going to put a width of, let's say, 100 pixels, and with the height is 100 pixels. And then maybe I just do not put any width or height, maybe just put an image tag, empty image tag guys, and maybe I also put an alternate text for the image. Later the video camera will start here. So that's a placeholder right now I'm just creating so that you guys can understand step by step what am I doing. So that's my content area, and I'm just gonna put next thing is a input field with a placeholder property. Please enter image name here. That's my placeholder property, and I want this to be a mandatory field, so I say required is true. Okay, that's my input field inside the dialog. The finally end button, and that's going to be a button once again. And let's put the text cancel, and on cancel once again on press anonymous function that dot my global variable for the fixed dialog, close. On cancel simply close. On click of capture we got to put it back. Okay, that's my requirement. Just put this here. Let's look at the design of our dialog now. Now your dialog have got some content. It will look beautiful. Let's come here and click on take photo. You're going to see a dialog box with the proper content. Of course my video streaming will not yet start. I come here. Oops, when I click on the button nothing is happening. Your best friend is your console. Something mistake you've done, you can find that error into the console area. You can see syntax error over here with an img tag alternate text somewhere, some error. If such kind of error comes in, what is that you can do guys? JavaScript code. Sometimes you don't see here the line number. You don't know where exactly is the issue. Just clear the console, go to the JavaScript file, copy everything, Control C, and come back here and paste everything here again. Press enter. You know exactly the same error will also pop up over here. Oops, it's not coming. Maybe then I have to just come and look at here. Something going wrong in this area. in image tag. I think forgot to put my image tag, alternate text. Forgot to put my img tag. End of img tag I forgot. So actually don't need it. Let me just check if this one works good. Refresh and just check it. So we forgot to put an end of img tag. That's why I think it's behaving like that. So now voila, you can see later the camera stream will come here. So that's your title of the pop-up. You've got a field. You see placeholder. Placeholder comes like this. Please enter your image name here. You don't need an additional label, guys, if you use placeholder property for an input field. And again, enter, let's say, Anubhav, my file name as Anubhav. And of course, my camera stream will start here now. And I can say capture photo. Whatever is displayed in the camera will be captured and will be displayed right away here on the bottom in this area. And on cancel, the pop-up gets closed. That's it, guys. So how can you now start your camera? That's the tricky part. It's very easy. Just use a core HTML control called video autoplay. That's it. Your camera will immediately start. Just use video. And guys, it's always recommended to give an ID to this control. And I'm giving an ID to this control as player. And now I say autoplay. That's it. That's it. This will on your camera, guys. That's it. This small piece of control will trigger your camera. That's it. Clear, everybody? How will your camera be triggered? This is how your camera will be triggered. Any device you are onto. Okay. Now you can see here I've given the ID of this control as player, and that's an HTML. So if you want to get object of an HTML control, you already know the API, document.getElementById. I already taught you JavaScript and HTML in my basic UI5 training. So with that, you can guess that this is what I'm going to do. I'm now going to get the ID of this object of this element when it is displaying me some live video stream, and use this object of this video tag to capture a snapshot out of it. Okay, and that's something which we'll do in the capture photo button. So now that's why I was doing the sometime back an object of the player. So basically I'm going to get an object of this player now. So I say obj player equals to document dot get element by id. Before the pop-up is closing, you have to do that. And I say player. I get the object of this player into my object. And once I've got it, now with this object, I'm going to say, get me the value of the object and get me the image value of the object also. So I want to basically get the picture object value. So I will use two global variable. One is this dot image val object. I'm going to use this in a minute. Another object, I'll say image val. These two things I'm going to use. So image val object, I'm say window dot URL dot create. Actually, the first one is not required. You can just want to get the image value now. As I told you, everything is a string for system. For computer, it's a string actually. For you, it's an image. It's a pixels. But for computer, it's an image. So you're going to get this image value very simply by using your object. And then with this object, you can say, get me the value. So you can say document.getElementById player. That's your object. And then object.src object you can use. So let me just show you how you can now get the actual image value out of it. So what you have to write to get the actual image value out of
This
it.
conference
Okay.
will now be recorded.
So let's directly set this object player to this global variable. You can actually do this also. You can directly use this dot image val and just get this object before you close the pop-up. So before I close the pop-up, I'm actually taking this player object into a global variable. That's it, guys. This is right now you got to do. That's it. You can now use this global variable later point of time to take out the image stream out of it. Okay, we will be doing that. So before the pop-up is closed, this is what we are doing. As part of the next step, what we are going to do, we are just closing the pop-up here. And now before the pop-up is closed, I want to set the image taken out of this player object to something called canvas. Canvas is nothing but we're going to create a small piece of object on the main UI. If you remember once again the picture, before we before we close the pop-up, we have to get this picture on the main screen. On the main screen, we got to get the picture. So that's what we will be doing. So for that, I'm going to use couple of events. So let me right now just collapse it and now start writing the code. Now guys, together with this video stream, you have to also enable camera functionality. Now to enable the camera functionality, there is something very important you have to do, which I will also show you now. Now, couple of things. Before we close the pop-up, we have to attach an event, and we have to tell the system before the pop-up is closed, please change the image, please set the image back to the main screen, because once the pop-up is closed, your object is destroyed. Before the object destruction happens, we got to take the image out of that video stream and put it into the canvas area, put it into the draw area of the main screen, which we will be also doing. Now, another important thing, since I'm creating this dialog as an external window, we have to also add it as part of dependency on the view. So we usually do this using this .get view .add dependent. That's one important step, because so that all the objects, all the variables, everything, it can share with the view. That's why we do this. So we just have to put that add dependent over here. And I'm gonna just say it open, please. And before somebody close it, we have to attach an event. So we have to say that this dot fixed dialog dot attach before close. And before somebody close this, I want to attach an event called set image. This is what I'm doing, guys. I'm going to write a function set image. In this set image function, we will write the functionality to take the image from the video stream, from the player object, and set it to a canvas area. I will do that here. So now, by this time, your pop-up is still alive. Okay, before the pop-up close, take the running image from the video stream of camera and set that as a canvas element on HTML page. This is what we have to do, guys. Okay, this is what is an event handler I've attached before the pop-up is closed. This is what we have to do. Now we need to now also tell this browser to start the camera functionality, and that video stream, what you have put here in this video, it has to show the camera image. Whatever camera is capturing, that should go and sit inside this video stream. That is one important step, and for that we actually use a special API provided by browser called Navigator. So we say Navigator media devices dot get user media, and I say video equals to true. What system does with this? This will activate your camera. This will start actually the camera, and then wherever it finds a video tag, it is going to put that particular camera image inside that video tag, which we already created on the top. And once it finds it, then I would say once your camera is on, once the camera is on, then what you need to do, you have to call this event handler called handle success. And let me define this handle success as a function. This is how we create functions in JavaScript. And this is going to get a stream, a video stream. And this video stream, I'm going to say player dot src object equals to stream. Okay, that's what we will do. Okay, this is what we'll do. Now what is your player? Your player also have to be defined on the top. We will define the player on the top. That's your nothing but your object of the object of your this player element. So this video element, you are going to create an object for the video element, and that's what your player is all about. So we are saying player.src object, whatever is your camera capturing, that is stream, live stream, should be sent to the src object of this player, which is nothing but a video player. So this video player will display the live stream captured from camera. This will on the camera. Whatever camera is capturing is going to be sent live to this source object of this player. And this player object also I forgot to define. So let me just define. We already actually done it here as image val, but actually this should be that. And now I can say this dot image val. So that's your player object. That's it, guys. So hope you are able to understand. Once again, I repeat, you have first created a pop-up. In that pop-up, you have put a capture button, a close button, and you had put a video tag. This video tag is going to display you there are two parts whenever you work with the camera. One is the input, one is the output. Your input is from the camera device, and your output, how do you display what your camera is capturing? So this is your camera. Now camera starts receiving images. Camera starts sensing what camera see. But where will you show the user what is camera seeing? That is what you are connecting here and displaying a picture, right? Whenever you use HD cam, camera is capturing something, and then you have a LCD display which displays you what camera is capturing. So that's what this video tag is. This video tag is displaying you live camera image what camera is capturing. And how camera will start? Camera will start when you use this API. So there's an API. This is the API to start the camera. Navigator media devices get user media video equals to true. This API will start this camera, and then this camera will start sensing. It will start capturing images. Once it starts capturing images, this particular event handler gets called continuously. In this, it passes a default object called stream. Whatever camera is seeing, we are actually pumping that data to the video stream. So user who is sitting at the front of system actually see this video stream live. Camera is capturing, user is seeing this video. Camera is capturing, user is seeing this video. Now user decide I want to take a photo. So user click on take photo. The moment you say capture this photo, the call will come to your event handler. Where is our event handler? Here it is. Okay. You say capture photo. When you say capture photo, begin button, say capture photo, we take this object, final object state over here, and then we come down, and before it is closed, this image, this event handler will be called. So by this time, you are seeing, your camera is seeing something and you are also seeing something. This image is what you now have to put to the main UI. So on the main UI, I'm going to dynamically create now a element on the UI, and that element is going to display you the captured picture. Okay, it is going to display the captured picture. So let's go to the view, and on our view, I'm going to create an element, and maybe this time I switch to the XML mode of the view. So right click, open with a code editor. Let's come down, and now in the content area, I'm going to create a VBox, vertical box control in Fiori. And I name this as ID as, let's say some ID we want to give this. I say wow. That's the idea I want to give. So this is the box in which I'm going to embed the picture, guys. Whatever camera, whatever, when you say capture, that point of time, whatever is captured, that is what I'm going to display in this box area. So basically now you again, to display a picture, you have to use a canvas control in HTML. So we'll create a canvas control with some width and height. Okay. And that canvas control, we are going to pass the image. Now remember, whenever you're creating a dynamic control, every control has a unique ID. So we got to construct the unique ID of this picture, because user can take also multiple pictures. And then we have to also, display that in the canvas. So let's do that. So I've created a static element. In this static element, dynamically, I'm going to add a canvas. That canvas is going to have my picture captured. Let's come back. So now in the set image, what we will do, in the set image, we will start first getting the object of our wow element. So this wow element, I want to get an object of this wow element. So I can say var, and I say my vbox equals to this dot get view dot by id. So I got my vertical box object. Now inside this vertical box, I can say get me the items. So it could be possible that already I have added a couple of pictures inside this. So I'm just getting that obbox.get items. If I've already added some picture maybe in the past, I will get those items. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct an image ID. So I will say var snap ID equals to, I just say snapshot, or I can say Anubhav hyphen, because I'm going to create a dynamic ID, ID dynamically, items.length. So if it is 0, it becomes Anubhav 0. Suppose I've already captured one picture. Another element gets added with another ID, Anubhav hyphen 1, because already one picture is being captured. So I'm dynamically constructing my ID on every capture. And then I can also have a text ID. So I can have, because I am also asking user to provide a text for that image. So I can have a text ID. So I can say snap ID plus hyphen text. That's also I'm creating. Dynamic IDs I'm creating to create my HTML elements. And now I can say value of my image, and that I can get it this dot image val, which is nothing but my object which I had already stored it as a global variable. So this player object, you can see image val I've already stored as a global variable. So that's what I'm using here, image val. And this image val object is going to give me the necessary photo, the necessary string of that running image. Okay, that's what it's going to give me. And then what I can also do is I can say create a new canvas element. That's the a new HTML element I'm going to create on the page. So I can say var o canvas, new HTML element I'm constructing, SAP UI core HTML. And let's go inside, and now we're going to construct a canvas image with an ID equals to single quote plus plus. Basically construction needs to be done now for this. And here is my snap ID, which I have prepared it dynamically. After snap ID, I can just put a width for my image. Let me put it width as 320 pixels, height also as 320 pixels. I'm creating a dynamic canvas element to display the captured image, guys. This is what I'm doing. We can also add a style property. I taught all of this in my basic UI5 training to all of you. Equals to 2 pixel solid red. Yeah, that's my inline style. And then I'm just going to end this canvas ID. Canvas element is ended. Okay, and let's start another element below this as a label. So let's start a label also with an ID. And I say text ID. And then I can come here. And this text ID is going to be my attachment name, guys. Whatever name user has given, that is going to be my attachment name. So that will be the label in this with its ID. Just this dot attachment name. That will be my label. And just end this label control also. That's my complete HTML. I'm prepared. Let me check everything looks okay. So I'm creating a canvas with an ID snap ID, which I generated here. Anubhav hyphen my number of elements. Width and height property I've added to this. And then I've added style property to this canvas, ended the canvas. And then a label with the text ID, and then this dot attach name. Now inside this canvas, you have to display your picture. That's very important. So inside this canvas area, we have to display this picture. So we will also do that. So let's add this first canvas to the items. Oh, it's giving me an error here. unexpected token. After plus, we have to just put this text ID, double quote, this dot attachment name. All looks good. Why it's giving me an error? Okay, maybe check that. And now what we're going to do is just add this to my wow element. So this newly added canvas, I'm going to dynamically add to my wow element, to my VBox. So OVBox dot add item, add this canvas to it. That's what I do. So I've added to my add item to my VBox, and then what we will do, we will add an event delegate after the canvas is displayed to the user. So we use oCanvas dot add event delegate. So once you created this event canvas element, you are writing an event delegate method. When this event should trigger? This event should trigger on after rendering. Once the empty canvas element is displayed, whatever is the image in the video stream, take that image as it is and put that image, draw that image from the video inside this canvas. So for that, use on after rendering, and then you put a function. And inside this function, so basically we have dynamically created a canvas element and added this canvas element to the vertical box. But immediately you can't add the picture to it because maybe it's not yet appearing on the UI. You have to add an event delegate. Once it is displayed on the UI, what to do? You have to now take an object of this canvas element, and in that canvas element you have to pass the image, draw the image inside. So let's get the canvas object again inside. So var snapshot canvas equals to document dot get element by ID, and I pass snap ID. I got the canvas element which is already now available on the UI, and I say var o its context o canvas element, sorry, snapshot canvas dot get context, two-dimension context, because pictures will be written into two-dimensional context area, and then I can use o context dot draw image. Basically we are drawing our picture which we are taking from image val into this canvas area. 0 0, that's starting in x and y coordinate, and then the width of this is again this area, snapshot canvas dot width. In what width the image should be driven, and then what will be the height of the image, that is same as the canvas height. That's how the image will be written. And that's it, guys. That's it. We are done. So whatever image you capture, that image will be displayed. Clear, everybody? I will repeat this process once again.
This conference will now be recorded.
So let's repeat this. So what we are having here is a player. So this is your video player. And this video player is going to play an image all the time. So you have on one side your camera. Your camera is seeing something. What your camera is seeing is actually fed to this video player. And now on this video player, user will say capture. The moment user say capture, what we have to do, whatever is video player is seeing, whatever is video player displaying, we need to immediately take a snapshot of that. And that snapshot we got to draw on the main UI, on the main screen from where you started this process. So on the main screen, you say start taking photo or take photo. And you triggered on take photo, this camera activated, this video player activated, and now on capture button, whatever is the video stream is doing, we have to take a snapshot of that. Where do you show this snapshot to the user? You have to draw some area on the UI. That's what exactly your canvas area is. This is your canvas area in which you got to draw what video player is displaying you as a snapshot. Together with this, we are also going to print the label. That is what we are also drawing. So we are also going to print a label of what user gave in this video along with the video player. So that's what the canvas and label is, which we have actually written it over here in this area. And finally, that's getting added to the main DOM because of VBox control, which is part of the view. This is your view. Inside the view, we are going to add that. Now, right now, there's an error. I think it's because of this extra semicolon. Let me remove that. Yes, error is gone. There is one more mistake we have done, and that mistake is actually instead of using this image val, we just have to use player here. That's it. So system will look forward for an element called player on the UI, and in that player, it's going to set the SRC objective, because look at the ID of your video player. It's player. So just have to put the ID over here. That's what you have to put. SRC object stream. We are done. Let's save it. Ignore these web ID warnings for time being. And you will now see when I run the application, the magic happening on the UI. Let me come refresh my application. Now guys, remember, it may take some time. First time, it may take a little bit of time for you. However, you need to be very careful. And once it is done, you will be able to see. So let me start my camera now, and I'll say take picture. And you can see, wow, that's the pizza picture I'm showing on my UI, guys, to all of you. And let me give a name here. Let me give a name here. So I'm just going to give a name, Anu one. Parse, yeah, that's the method I missed, guys. It's a method call which I missed. Let me just use that. Come back here, DOM parser dot parse from string. That's what I missed. Let's go and give a try one more time. I can come back, refresh my page, and ready to take the picture one more time. So I'm just gonna come down and ready to take the picture one more time. Let's get ready with our first pizza one more time. So I'm just going to put my picture over here. Let's take the photo. There you go. And I say 111. Capture the photo. You can see the picture have come. And now let's shoot up. So I just got to come and say send to SAP. Again, the debugger is sitting. Let me come down. Parsing. Perfect. Parsing works. HTML document have come up. In this HTML document, now I'm searching for my image. Watch out this part, guys. This is what you might not have understood. So I'm now getting this image object from this DOM parser, HTML document. This image object I'm getting. You see, this is your canvas. Inside this canvas, the image is hidden. When you call to data URL, this will give you the actual image base 64. Sorry, not base 64. This will give you the image. That's your complete image. That's your complete image. I think we can also simplify this code without even using the DOM parser. So let me right now remove the DOM parser. I think this is an extra over engineering of code. Let me remove this. And we can directly go with the snap ID. And we can here use the document.getElementById, snap ID to data URL. And now I'm going to replace the string. In the string, we're going to get this special characters and this image information. We're just going to remove it and replace it with a blank character. Let me debug and show you what is the impact of this in the system. Let's go to the system and again re-execute the application. And I'll show you in the debugging mode what exactly system does. System is going to treat your image as a string now. And this string information we can actually reuse to re-render the entire image once again. So let it run the application and we'll see it in the system, how does it behave. So let me just again go back and start my photo taking. You can see the photo is coming up over here. And just quickly go ahead and put some value. I say Anubhav 1. And I click on capture the photo. You can see the photo has been captured. And let me now just go and show you the DOM of this. Right click on the picture, inspect the element. And what you're going to see here into the DOM is the ID of the element, which is Anubhav-0. Let me copy that. Go to console. And I just get this object of the document, the HTML document object for the element. So I just come here and pass in the object ID. So that's my canvas ID. Now from this canvas ID, if I want to get the information about the image, I can call dot and there's an API which is available in the canvas to be able to get the information of the entire image as a string, and that's called toData URL. So you can say toData URL in caps, press enter, and you can see this is your complete image, guys, as form of a string. Now I make a copy of this from here, and I just go to Google, and now I go ahead and search for decode or maybe base64 to image. Just search for that on Google. Sorry, base64 image. And now I just go for the first link, and whatever I have copied from the console, I'm just going to paste it over here. So watch out, guys, how computer treats images. It actually treats it as a string. Just paste it over here into the base64 string box, and just click on generate button image, and voila, you can see the complete image is now rendered again. So that's what exactly computer format of an image is. Any image which you see is now we're going to send this image without any special characters to the backend system by converting it to a base64. So you see all these special character like slash, plus, symbol, all these things has to be converted into base64 and sent it to the backend system to avoid any OData issues. So for that, further conversion can be done by replacing, first of all, we got to replace this gentleman data image base64 comma. Let's replace that. So I'm just going to say dot replace this thing, and now I see once again your image part. And now I'm going to convert this image by using B2A function, and inside that encode URI function. So two functions back to back, and inside that put your code once again for that image. So that's exactly what you're going to send it to the backend system, guys. That's a base64 format. I'm going to take this piece of code. Let's go to the web IDE, and now this is my string image, which I'm going to finally send it to my backend system. So that's the code. I've already tested it. I showed you how to use it, and I'm just gonna put that string image over here directly. So let's do that. And now I can say var string image equals to this. And that's it, guys. We're going to send it to the backend system. So finally, system is going to post this to the backend system, and you're going to see this picture will be available to the ERP system. So I can save this. Let's re-execute our application and finally see it sending to the SAP backend system. And I'll show you in the SAP backend system whether our image has been posted or not in our database table. So let me go to our database table. On a safer side, I'll just go to a report program and flush out the table. So let me just create a report, just quickly flush out the table without having any content, just to be very sure that my table doesn't have anything. So I just say delete from ZBIP product pick, and just gonna activate this, execute, everything empty, go to the table and see nothing inside it right now. There's no entry. Let's go and now shoot up our application, refresh the application. Of course, before sending, I'm going to do a console F12. And let's take a picture one more time, guys. Once again, our pizza application picture. So just come back, take a photo. And that's my Anubhav Learning Series photo. And I say Anubhav 1. Yeah. And that's my photo. And then I can say capture the photo. That's it. I captured the photo. And now it's time to send it to the backend. Press F12 one more time, just to be very sure. You can also take more photos because it's going to append these photos. When you test this code, you can see that you can take more photos, guys. And now let's go to the source. And now it's time to just send it to the backend system. So I can say send to SAP. It hits the breakpoint. And now you can see it's calling products attachment set. And that's my payload, complete image with its name and all the other properties. And we're just going to say execute. If there's an error comes, it's going to come to the error callback. If it's successful, it's going to come to the success callback. And now just press F8. Hopefully the call is gone. I've not yet received the response yet. Just going to go back here. Yes, I think the response is also received as a success. So maybe just go back to the database table, execute, and voila, you can see Anubhav 1 has been posted to the backend system as a JPEG image, and that's my content. Now it's pretty easy, guys. You can just go back to the binding part on the first screen. create a new column and bind this content property coming out of OData to the image control on the Fiori screen. Let's do that. So this image what we've taken should be now visible on the first screen. So come back to the first screen. Here I'm going to introduce a new column called image, and the margarita pizza image should be now displayed over there. Let's come back to the application, and I come to my worklist view and just going to add a new column to the worklist view. So that's my column. Just going to add a new column. I call it as image column, and the text for this right now not putting in I-89. I just put say pizza photo, or I can say product picture, and then just give some ID. So I say pick ID, and now just going to come down in the cells. We're going to add an image control with SRC property and just do the binding with the content which we are returning out. Congratulations. Let's go ahead and test this. We're going to see that picture image on the first screen now popping up. Let's come back, refresh the page, and let's see. Oops, still my picture is not visible. Something is wrong. Let's come back and check. So that's my content binding with SRC property of the image control. Why my picture is not visible? There's something which we are definitely missing. Let me just come back, right click, inspect the element, and see if we are already getting that property or not from the backend. Let me just execute one more time. And you're going to see the batch request widget mix. And let's see what property it is accepting or expecting from the backend. So it's only setting name order by $top, skip product set, entity set, go for response. Okay, you can see guys, data column image is coming, but it's coming in the red. Something is wrong with it. Let's come here. Look at the header. Something is wrong. Data image JPEG base 64. Something is coming, but it's not correct. Yes, I can see here there is one comma which is missing. See guys, this image is coming, but after base 64 there's a comma which is missing. So that's something which we have to add it to the backend code. If you remember, we have appended base 64 again to the backend code while sending the image back in the product set get entity set, and that's something is now causing an issue because I missed out a comma into my get. So let's go to product set get entity set, and I'm going to add a comma over here. That's exactly what we missed. Just put a comma, activate this, and just going to come back, close this up, and just going to refresh my application. Let's refresh, and we should be able to now, voila, there you go. You can see your product picture is now displayed over here. However, not so user friendly. Of course, you can just go ahead and change your layout a little bit by making the image size pretty compatible. So you can just put the width property and maybe just make it like 250 pixels along with the height. 250 pixels. You can of course create a lot of different things with the binding on the next screen as well. I just wanted to show you here how does it look like. So that's exactly how you send the pictures to SAP system. You receive the pictures, taking the pictures from the camera. Yes, pretty good. You can see that's a margarita pizza. Maybe I just go back to spicy delight. Again, take another photo and send it to the SAP system. And then once we go back to the first screen, you're going to see it's coming back again. So let me take the picture one more time for this one. So ready to take the photo. The photo comes up. That's my Anubhav Learning Series photo. Just come down, and I name this as FFF, maybe some name, and then I can just say capture the photo. You can see the photo has been captured, and now it's time to just send it to the backend system. So let's say send to SAP, and everything goes good. It is being saved. Let's go back to the previous screen and just, of course, you got to reload the list if you want to immediately reflect that change back on the UI. However, now you can see your second picture is also popping up. That's the beauty of taking photos from the camera, sending it to the backend system, and retrieving it back, binding it with the UI, and displaying it back on the UI. Wow, what an amazing example. Hope this is clarifying majority of the things, all the doubts which you guys had, all the questions which you guys had. How can we work out with the photos? Complete end-to-end scenario, guys. Taking the photo from the camera, and believe me, you can try this in the mobile device. your mobile camera will also become enabled. And you can take the picture, send it to the backend and store it and then retrieve it, and accordingly you can do the magic. In the next session, I'm going to also show you the upload and download functionality, where I will, instead of taking the photo, we're going to upload the photo from our computer. And then we're going to send this photo to the backend system. I will also talk about error handling and probably in upcoming days some more interesting topics in Anubhav Learning series. If you like this video, please do like, share and comment on your video. Your comments on this video, your likes on the video, your subscriptions on my YouTube channel always inspire me to bring more and more content, interesting content to solve all your problems. Please feel free to write back to me. And if you are not comfortable with UI5 Fiori, my course is always there for you. You can subscribe to my UI5 and Fiori course on my website, onlinefioretrainings.com. With that, Anubhav signing out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and don't forget to write down your comments into the comment box below. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.